Welcome to Game Changers with Molly Fletcher, where we take you behind the scenes with peak performers to learn what makes them tick and discover how you can apply their lessons to your life. I'm your host, Molly Fletcher. If you're a Peloton rider, you've probably had a few sweat sessions on the bike with today's guest, Tunde Oyenin. Tunde is a Peloton instructor, Nike athlete, and New York Times bestselling author. After discovering joy and confidence through fitness, Tunde left her 15-year career as a professional makeup artist for top beauty brands to become a cycling instructor and help others become the best version of themselves. She rose to fame on Peloton's platform, inspiring a dedicated fan base with her motivational Tunde-isms while pushing them beyond their limits. In her memoir, Speak, she shares how she transformed grief and setbacks into growth and self-confidence. Tunde has been featured on The Today Show, Good Morning America, Vogue, and Vanity Fair. In our conversation today, we talk about how to find your voice, trust your gut, and get from where you are to where you want to be. Here's my conversation with Tunde Oyenin. So Tunde, I want to start here. As a Peloton instructor, you inspire people every day. So tell me a little bit, get folks inside of your own fitness journey, your own wellness journey would be awesome.
Oh, that's a thick first question. I mean, I was an overweight kid living in Katy, Texas, somewhere right outside of Houston. I was a person who I spent so many years hiding myself. I didn't want people to see me because I felt like if people saw me, then they'd see my size. And so I thought that if I laughed but never laughed too loud, people wouldn't notice I was in the room. I thought that if I danced but never danced too hard, people would not notice that I was in the room. And so I did everything to keep the attention off of me. When I finally decided to start this journey, and I say start this journey because there's no end line, like it is a forever thing.
Amen. Yep.
So when I decided to start this journey, it was just like this moment where I did it for nobody but myself. I was supposed to be a bridesmaid in my aunt's wedding, and the dress that my aunt had chosen didn't fit. And so at that time, my aunt offered for me to wear a much more beautiful dress, but I didn't want to because I knew that everybody would know that I was not wearing the same dress as the other girls because I was the one who couldn't fit into the dress. And so that was really the catalyst for change for me. I think that what's unique about my journey is that I set out to lose weight. I lost 70 pounds. What I gained within this is so much more than 70 pounds. I gained so much more. I gained a sense of self. I gained an understanding of my power. I now know that I can do really hard things. If I put my mind to something and I press forward, I'll achieve it. And so when I meet difficult or challenging things, I remind myself that I've done difficult and challenging things before. I gained friendships. I stepped into my purpose, my power. And so I lost weight, sure, but what I gained was so much more. I started this to shrink myself. And the only thing that it's done is amplified me.
That's so good. I love that. And you know what I love about what you said, Tunde? It's a journey that never ends, right? It's a journey that you wake up and pursue better every single day. You go for more every day. I love it. How do you create change that sticks, right? Get me inside of your mindset a bit there, because you've created change and there was a catalyst for that. It sounds like your aunt's wedding, but it's stuck in a big way.
Yeah, I think that's a habit, right? I think that the act of creating a new habit requires change, but once the shift has happened, it's no longer change. Now we name it a habit. And I think that what holds you accountable to a habit is being dedicated to anything. People always say, Tunde, how are you so motivated? How are you so motivated? How do you stay motivated? I think that when you're dedicated to any one thing, the act of being dedicated motivates you to continue to do it. When you are dedicated to anything, you are motivated to show up. And I think that motivation, there's a habit that's brought out of that.
Get me inside of, because motivation wanes, doesn't it? And so there's a mindset, a belief, and you said the word earlier, which I love, purpose. What role does purpose play in change, in shifting a behavior?
I define power. As living in purpose, on purpose, and being of great purpose. Your power. Power is that tingly thing that you feel when you're doing what you know that you were put here to do. Power is that tingly thing that you feel when you are doing the thing that you know that you are put here to do. For you, Molly, maybe it's when you've got a microphone in front of you and the words just come, right? It's almost like something takes over you and the action is just done. For some people, that's being a parent. For some people, it's teaching. For me, it's leading. If power is connected to your purpose or your purpose is connected to your power, there are times in your life where you're drawn or called to change so that you can tap into your power, so that you can use your purpose. I was a makeup artist for 15 years. About 12 or so years into the job, I was in this space where I was splashing water on my face to get through every day. A dream job that I'd worked my butt off for no longer felt like it served me. I had absolutely no idea what I was supposed to do with my life. I was in a space of supreme uncertainty. I've told this story many times. I talk about it in my book, Speak. But it was this, what I call blue light experience. Like I mentioned, I was a makeup artist. I was in New York on business. And I go to a cycling class. My first cycling class. After unclipping from that bike that day, again, after my first class, taking my first class, I knew that I'd be cycling for the rest of my life. I knew that I'd be teaching. And without even knowing what Peloton was, I knew that I'd be teaching on the world's biggest platform, able to impact the lives of millions of people. I was absolutely certain. It was like a divine download of information. The most certain I've ever been about anything in my life. That moment of clarity, that 1 second of clarity required me to change. From there, imposter syndrome absolutely set in. It took me 8 months to get certified to teach classes. Took another, I think, 8 months for me to even audition at any, studio. I worked at a mom and pop studio for a short period of time, and then Peloton found me. But that change was so connected to my purpose. I had to change to step into my power. It was all there. It was all happening the entire time. I just had to see it. And beyond that, I had to believe it.
That was a moment that happened to you, right? That you were inside of, you recognized it was a platform by which you had and found tremendous clarity in that moment. Would you be where you are right now had that moment not happened to you? For people that are waiting for that moment of clarity, what would you tell them on as it relates to how to go create those moments so that they can, in fact, find and live into their purpose?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Would I be here if that moment didn't happen to me? No. But, or rather, and that moment happened for me. And I think that we all have many moments. It's a matter of if we're awake enough to realize that the moments happened, right? I'm going to say it again. That moment happened for me. We all have moments that happen for us. It's a matter of if we are awake to realize that the moment is happening. The beauty of uncertainty is infinite possibility. When you don't know what's next, anything can be next. When you are sitting waiting for the moment, thinking that you know what the moment is, you are missing the moment that was actually on its way to you. The beautiful thing about not knowing what's next is that anything can be next. I said I was a makeup artist. I had no idea what was supposed to happen in my life. The most beautiful gift that I was given in that moment is that I had absolutely no idea what was supposed to happen in my life. If I knew what was coming, I would have been searching for something specific. I had no business searching to become a Peloton instructor, much less a cycling instructor, right? Or a cycling instructor, much less a Peloton instructor. I wasn't searching for that opportunity. That opportunity came to me and I answered. That opportunity came to me and I believed it. I think that we all have opportunities that come to us every single day. It's just a matter of believing our worthiness. I mentioned that, I was this overweight kid. When this epiphany, this moment happened, I thought to myself, and this is imposter syndrome. This is like the young Tunde that still sees herself a certain way. Like that voice came in and that voice said, you don't look like, walk like, talk like, or move like an instructor. Nobody's going to find you motivating. The sound of your voice. Oh, girl, the sound of your voice. Nobody wants to hear that from a microphone. Like all of that stepped in. And so, yeah, this moment happened for me, but I was still in the driver's seat. I was still the one who let the thought in. Like I still played a role in it.
What I'm hearing you say too is you were present. You were so present you could allow it in. And, we live in a world, don't we, where being present is so hard. I mean, everybody's got so much stuff coming at them, personally, professionally, they got stuff. And showing up and being fully present, and I love how coaches talk about it, right? Coaches will say to their guys, right, be where your feet are. Show up even when it's hard, even sometimes when you don't want to. How do you stay present? You got stuff coming at you too. But when you step and clip in and go, you got a lot of people waiting for you to light them up, to motivate them, to take them to a new place. How do you show up consistently every time and lock in and stay present?
You know what? Life happens in seasons. Life happens in seasons. And I recognize that right now, I'm in a really beautiful season of my life. And it's a season that, will shift and change and grow color. And I will never get this season back. And so I'm trying to be here to witness all the many shades, all the feelings, everything that the wind might blow in. Trying to stay grounded in this moment. I think that when you allow yourself to not only be present, but have gratitude, when you are present and you allow yourself to move with gratitude, I think that the universe acknowledges that. And then you open up space for more abundance to come in. I feel like when I allow the weight of the world to topple over me or to cloud over me, I find myself in this cycle where it's like you can't get out of it. When something heavy hits and you allow that to take you down or allow yourself to fully feel the weight of that, it's oftentimes hard to come out of it because you begin to feel the weight of everything else around you, right? And so I think when you move in gratitude, it's the same thing. When you allow yourself to be present and have gratitude for something, you're submerged and wrapped in more gratitude. Gratitude covers you. And you find yourself again in another gratitude cloud that you can't get yourself out of, but that's the cloud that you want to stay in. And so I try to be mindful of that. And that's not to say that I am always fully present. Absolutely not. I have 20 things lined up behind this wonderful conversation that we're having today. And so, but it is moments like this where you pull yourself out of it and you just try to show up and try to do it and be the best that you can, because ultimately your energy affects everyone around you. And so, I try to be mindful of that.
And I think too, that's what people want. I mean, I'm sure there's days maybe when we're clipped in and guys, I mean, you're maybe not feeling it as much. And there's something cool about being real, because there's probably somebody on that ride with you that might feel that exact same way. I read, by the way, that when you first interviewed with Peloton, you didn't get the job. What did you take from that experience at some level, right? And then you are where you are now. I would imagine there's a resilience muscle inside of you that at some level you've built and you've strengthened. How did that show up and serve you in that moment?
Sure. Yeah. No. Cody Rigsby actually found me on Instagram, asked me to come out and audition for Peloton. Come out, audition. I finish. He says it's one of the best auditions they've ever seen. And then about a month later, I get a call that says we won't be moving forward with your candidacy. And it was in no way, shape, or form to Cody's opinion, if you will. It wasn't his vote that stopped it. I've had a lot of loss. I've had a tremendous amount of loss in my 37 years. I've lost my little brother. 3 years after I lost my brother, I lost my dad. And then 3 years after that, I lost my mom. All three very unexpectedly, very sudden. And so I've hit my lowest low. I've hit rock bottom 3 times. Not getting the job felt like another rock bottom. Not because I didn't get a job, but because I'd had this vision, seen something so clearly. I had trusted myself and believed in myself more than I'd ever had before. And here I am working at a mom and pop studio. I don't audition for Peloton. They reach out to me. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this is this vision that I saw. Everything's connecting. It's all aligning. I'm a psychic. No, I'm like, oh my God, right. And then to have it all just kind of come crashing down, that vision die, it's heavy. And, I was in this dark space for probably like a month, like bad, just dark. And because, I thought to myself, okay, there's this career that I'm in that no longer serves me. And now this really great opportunity just came in. It's happening. My life is about to change. And then for it to be a never mind, it felt dark and it felt heavy. And after about a month of like being in my dark space, I reminded myself, a friend of mine, actually, her name's Jade. Jade reminded me. Jade said, Tunde, she was laughing. I said, Jade, what could possibly be funny in this moment? She said, Tunde, I'm an observer of your life. Like I'm watching your life from the sidelines. And something that I've noticed is that everything is always happening in your favor. And so if you didn't get that job, sis, you weren't supposed to get that job. In hindsight, obviously I did get the job. In hindsight, I was not supposed to get the job then. I don't know that I would be who I am in this space, in this cast, if you will, amongst, 40-something other instructors. I don't know that I would occupy the space the way that I do had I started any sooner. I was supposed to start exactly when I started. And so, yeah, that serves as a reminder to me. That puts me in check. A lot of times when I want something, whether it's a gig or partnership or audition, when I really, 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 really want something and it doesn't go my way, I remind myself that everything is always going my way. Even when it doesn't go my way, it actually is going my way because everything is always going my way. And so I use that again. That's like my life is data. Every event that's happened in your life, every event that has happened in your life, it's data. You collect that and you use that data for the next thing. Data shows me that if it doesn't go my way, ultimately it will turn my way. Go my way. If you look back at all the breadcrumbs that life has left you, and you say, this was that thing that I wanted, and you didn't understand why it didn't happen, or you didn't understand why it didn't go in your favor. And then 6 months later, or a year later, or 5 years later, the truth revealed itself and you realize that things had to go that way to end up this way. That misstep, and I say misstep in quotes, that misstep reminds me that everything's always happening right on track. Everything's always happening according to plan.
Is there something that you tell yourself in those moments when maybe it doesn't go your way that helps you shift and recover from those moments and get yourself back to where you need to be, doing and being who you really are?
I remind myself that everything's happening for me. I remind myself that there's always another opportunity on the way. Everything is already happening. It's all already happening. It's just a matter of when it will reveal itself to you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when things don't go my way, I remind myself it's already happening. I just can't see it yet. I don't know the pieces yet.
Do you find yourself feeling like you don't have enough time? Like you're drained and burned out? If so, head over to mollyfletcher.com/webinar to access this free training and get my game-changing energy management framework. That's mollyfletcher.com/webinar. Start today and learn to have more energy for what matters most. Trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. Has that always been something that has been easy for you to do? Or is that something that you worked on? And did that bubble up in your life after sort of you were in the makeup space to the space that you're in now? When did you learn to trust your gut? That's hard for some people to do, but I love how you talk about it.
Molly, I have perhaps an insane level of trust in myself. Did it happen overnight? Absolutely not. I think it's a skill, something that I've practiced and strengthened. When I'm in like high stress moments or high moments of like high intensity or anxiousness and things go right, again, I collect that data. I hold on to it. And then I find myself in a similar situation again, and everything goes okay. I collect that. And then something happens again and again. Things go okay. At some point, you have to start believing yourself.
Right.
At some point, you have to start believing yourself. At some point, you have to acknowledge that even when your voice shakes, your message comes across. Even when your voice shakes, people hear you. Trusting my gut has led me to this exact moment. Trusting your gut has led you to this exact moment. Every missed step, every opportunity, every failure, every win, it's all led you to this moment. So I trust that all of this will lead me to the next. And if it doesn't go my way, I know that there's still a lesson and a learning in that. Failure oftentimes is a gift. Failure oftentimes is a gift. Failure is only a loss when you choose to learn nothing from the mistake. Failure is only a loss when you choose ego and your inability to recognize the misstep. That's the only time it's a mistake.
Well, no question. I think we live in an interesting world, don't we, where I feel like we tolerate failure less than we did historically. And I think
that's because everything's being recorded.
Right. And I think people are always pushing and presenting their lives and their world in this way where it's not always real. And they're not showcasing the moments where they're struggling, where they're down, and how they get out of those moments. And so, but failure's amazing. It's a wonderful thing. And I think I wish people recognize the gifts that come in that. Because to me in life, if you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, if you're going for more, you're going to maybe miss sometimes. But that's how we know we're growing, right? Where's your confidence come from?
I think that confidence is choosing to listen to the positive voice. I think that confidence is choosing to believe the positive voice. I think that's why confidence is wavering. I don't think there's any person, not one human being on this planet that is confident within every second of every given day. I mean, there are days, Molly, where I wake up and nobody can't tell me nothing. I'm like, and then 3 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I hate this about myself. Why do I do that? Why do I? it's waving your hands up and down and up and down and up and down. Confidence is believing to choose the positive voice. If you join me on the bike, or maybe you join me on the strength floor, and I'm putting you in a sprint, and I say the sprint is 60 seconds. Within a matter of 60 seconds, there's a voice in your head that comes in. Maybe every other second that says, I can't, or I'll just slow down, or why am I doing this? Or I don't need to take this seriously, or she's more fit than me, or my hip hurts, or like all the. And then for every, I don't know, 5 negative thoughts, there's a whisper that comes in and says, well, you're already 10 seconds in. Well, you're already 20 seconds in. Well, you've only got 15 seconds left. Oh my God, I think I'm about to do this. Confidence is amplifying the positive voice. It doesn't mean that the negative voice turns off all the way. It means you turn that one down and you choose to amplify the voice that's moving in your favor. Confidence is that simple. I think people think once I am this, I will be confident. Once I lose the weight, once my hair gets longer, once I find the guy, once I'm in a different relationship, once I get the promotion, once I buy the house. Like, it's always once I. You can choose confidence right now. And the more confident you are, the better you're equipped you will be to achieve the thing that you think will provide confidence.
And I think confidence comes through action, right? Like, you absolutely self-talk, the story that we tell ourselves, the voice we choose to listen to. But then we got to do it, right? Like, then we have to actually take action, and our confidence strengthens. The cool thing about what you do is you help others find their confidence. You help others unlock their confidence. And so much of leadership is helping people unlock their confidence, helping them believe. What would you tell leaders, tips for them, if you will, to help them unlock confidence in the people that they lead? You do this all day, every day.
Allow people to see you. As a leader, allow your teams to see you. They see the wins, let them see the struggle. I think that struggle is a beautiful thing. Struggle is necessary in order to tap into the next layer, the higher level. You have to experience struggle, and so struggle is necessary. Allow your teams to see you struggle. I think that people that gravitate towards me on Peloton, I think that one of the reasons that they may gravitate towards me, aside from my awesome playlists, Molly.
And your guns. And your guns right here, girl.
I would also say it's people see me in the hurt too. People see me struggling. I'm huffing and puffing. I can't breathe. I yell. I say it's hard. There are days that I say, I don't want to do this either. But we get it done. And I think, when people see you, they see themselves. People see you, they can find themselves, they can see themselves in you. And I think that they are then more willing to show up and stand with you, and then ultimately show up for themselves. They're more willing to stand with you, by you, and then ultimately, they're then standing up for themselves.
So I want to talk about Speak, about your book. Speak's an acronym. Walk me through a little bit of what does Speak stand for? Get us inside of that a little bit.
Speak, surrender, power, empathy, authenticity, and knowledge. It's an acronym. Surrender, power, empathy, authenticity, and knowledge. When I sat down to write the book, which was 2020, summer, pandemic, nothing was happening. I had said, I want to write a book. I said my whole life. And finally I was like, well, I have a little time. And so I sat down. I looked at those 5 words as elements in how they showed up in my life. Like, if you think about surrender, define surrender. What does it mean to you to surrender? Okay, to let go. I think oftentimes when we think about surrendering, we let go, like in quotes, we let go, but we still have a vision of what it will look like once we let go. Like, we
That's a good
all have
point.
an idea
Sure.
of how we want things to land. I think that surrender is like fully letting go and being okay with whichever direction things flow in. If you look back at your life in the moments where you truly did surrender, you fully surrendered, my guess is that change came out of that, change that led to growth. For me, it was, letting go of this 15 years of experience in the cosmetic world to enter a world that was completely new to, fitness. And in doing so, I stepped into my power. And so again, surrender, power, empathy, authenticity, and knowledge. Power I defined as living your life in purpose, on purpose, being of great purpose. Empathy in the book I speak to as being rooted in love, not just empathy for other people, but empathy for self. I don't know how to love you if I cannot first love myself fully. I don't even have the tools to love you with. I don't know how to do it. Authenticity is the intersection of truth and trust. Trusting yourself enough to show up as you truly are. I think authenticity is like such a over tossed around word. Authenticity is the intersection of truth and trust. When you trust that you are good to show up exactly as you are. And then knowledge is just the data, all the stuff, everything that you're collecting, all the breadcrumbs.
Are these words that you lean into in your own life every day? Would you almost define these as a way you make decisions, the way you operate? Is it a bit of an operating system, a bit of a mission, sort of critical way of life for you?
I would say that these words show up in my life, just generally in my life. Those 5 words, if I were to look at my life in one way or another, one of those words is present. One of those words leads. I think that they're all interconnected. I talked about when I surrendered, it led me to my power. Before I was able to surrender, I had to have empathy with myself. I had to find myself. When I found myself, I had to be okay with who I was, right? And so, yeah, they're all interconnected. I don't think that it's necessarily a matter of like, I wake up and I say, today I'm leading with power and
Right.
today I'm going to be authentic. I think it's more of like my mission statement, values, my credo, who I am, words that live within me, words that connect me to other people.
So, and the subtitle of your book, boy, find your voice, trust your gut, and get from where you are to where you want to be. So I know you love where you are right now, but where do you, Tunde, where do you want to be?
Right now, I want to be in a space of being in the present space. Right now, I want to be, I keep saying this, but I want to be in this space of being so wrapped inside of the present space. I think that we are so busy providing for our lives that we forget to live our lives. I think that we're so busy providing for our lives that we forget to live our lives. Right now I'm in a space of just wanting to live, wanting to be.
Anything new on the docket for you in the near term?
Well, from a career perspective, like what I'd like to do next. I've been venturing into like this correspondent hosting world. I hosted Peloton's first podcast earlier. Is that this year or last year? I hosted Peloton's a podcast with Peloton last year. I started an Instagram series called Speak. I've done some red carpet work as well. I'd love to grow that channel of Tunde. I used to always say that I wanted to be the next Oprah. I don't say that anymore. Now I say I want to be the first Tunde.
Love it, girl.
And so I really enjoy sitting and talking with people that I know and that I don't know. I really value meaningful conversations. I think that if I were to say like my superpower is my ability to listen. And so how amazing would that be to tap into that in an even greater perspective. And so, yeah, that's what I'm excited for in the future.
How can people find you? How can people connect with you?
You can find me at on Instagram at Tunde, the number 2, Tunde, and TikTok. I am trying to be Gen Z. I recently actually started using my TikTok, so you can find me there. And then as always, you can find me on the Peloton app.
All right, so I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire, and you just tell me what comes up. You ready?
Okay. No, not, but yes.
Yeah, you're always sitting on go, girl. We got this. What's your morning and evening routine?
I always sing to my dog. First thing I do, I wake up in the morning, I sing to my dog, and I have a cup of water, maybe 2. No phone for 30 minutes.
Love it. What's your evening routine?
I don't think I have an evening routine. I go for like a little evening run on my treadmill, like 30 minutes, most nights. Answer emails. I'm a night owl when it comes to working. I get a lot of work done at nighttime because nobody responds to email, which is really great. So you can get things out.
That's right.
I'm usually working or running at nighttime.
One thing on your bucket list.
I want to be in a room, like whether it's on a panel or hosting in conversation with, and this is at the same time. This is in no order. Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey. I'd love for Beyonce to be there.
Let's invite her.
And I'd love for Brene Brown to be there. And by many degrees of separation, this has happened in a way, sort of, but I'm going to make it happen for real.
Let's go. That's a heck of a panel, girl. I love it.
I'd like for Viola Davis to come too. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so we got and you're on this panel.
Yeah, I'm there.
I love it, girl. Let's do this. We need to make this happen. What would be your personal theme song?
I can't answer that question. I have no idea. I like songs.
All right, what if it's something by Beyonce? Can I just go with that, maybe?
I'm not going to fight that answer.
Let's go. All right.
I love music too much to put one thing on me.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm happy with Beyonce.
All right. I know. I'm not pressing you. It's all good. We don't have to pick. You're safe. You're safe with me, girl. What's the best advice you've ever received, and who did you get it from?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to say one of the best pieces. I've been so fortunate to have many mentors in my life, but one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever had was from a woman named Iris Navarat, and I was a trainer at the time in the cosmetic world. I would train makeup artists, and she said, I would have a day where I would train 50, 60 people in a day in one room, and she would say, Tunde, if you impacted the life of one person today, you did your job. And so every single day when I wake up, my mission, my goal is to add value to one person's life.
I think you're doing that. You're killing that. What would you tell your younger self?
That every single thing that you ask for is going to happen. So I dare you, dare to have the audacity to dream as big as you possibly can. And when you shape out what that dream looks like, dream even bigger.
What are you reading, watching, or listening to right now that you love?
Well, my teammate Emma Lovewell just wrote a book. I have an early advanced copy. I'm so lucky, and I'm reading it, and I'm loving it. You said last thing I watched?
Yeah, what are you watching? Yeah, or listening to?
I'm watching Abbott Elementary. I'm on the 2nd season, and I have there's this show that I watch that I don't know that anybody but me watches it, but I love it. It's called The Resident. It's kind of a guilty pleasure for me. I really enjoy the show. So I'm watching The Resident and Abbott Elementary.
All right, so who or what, the show's called Game Changer. So who or what is a game changer who inspires you and why?
Game changer, my mother. She moved here from Nigeria at a very young age to create and provide a better life for her children than the life that she was afforded. My mother.
I love it. I love that was not a hard one for you either. It was so clear to you. And by the way, I echo that. My mom is pretty amazing too. Tunde, this was fun. Thank you for taking time to hang with me.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks everybody for listening.
Here's a few of my favorite takeaways from my conversation with Tunde. Number 1, choose confidence right now. In other words, don't wait for the thing that you think will provide the confidence, right? The job, the promotion, the relationship, whatever it might be. Choose confidence now. Choose it right now, right where you are. Number 2, allow your team to see you struggle. As leaders, our natural inclination is to shield people from the struggle. We want it to look effortless, but it isn't. There's so much power in allowing your team to see your vision, to know you're at the helm, and to believe in you, but also for them to see the challenges inside of it, the struggles along the way. When people see you, when they really see you, they see themselves, and that builds connection. Number 3, find possibility in uncertainty. All of us are dealing with a lot of change and uncertainty in the world today. So I love the way Tunde talked about the gifts in that, the opportunities in that. As she said so perfectly, the beauty of uncertainty is infinite possibility. Well said, my friend Tunde. Thanks, as always, for listening to Game Changers with Molly Fletcher. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts. There you can listen to previous episodes and leave us a review, which helps other people find out about the show. This episode was edited and sound designed by the team at Sound On Studios. You can find out more about their work at soundonsoundoff.com. Check it out. For more about me, visit mollyfletcher.com. Until next time, stay curious and be bold.